The following video is brought to you by Sick Prints. The coolest, most critical and politically incorrect t-shirts, hoodies, mugs and printed art on the internet. Check the link in the description.
Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Leo. Even when he was only 3 years old, there were already toy cars all over his room. Leo's dad had a few car magazines, and every time Leo could get his hands on them, he would look at the pictures for hours. He was in love with speed, color, and the thrill of cars. In his small mind, he was going to own the fastest car in the world someday. But, of course, he had to wait. As Leo grew up, his passion didn't go away. In his teenage years, Leo still had the same dream. He was the kid who could always be seen watching videos of races and studying different car models. His room was filled with car posters, and there were even a few models of classic sports cars on his shelf. His friends often teased him, saying, "You can't even drive yet, Leo." But he just laughed and replied, "I will be able to soon." When Leo was old enough to get his driver's license, it was like a dream come true. He had to use his family's old sedan, but that was enough. Even if the car wasn't fast, he drove it with passion, imagining himself in a red Ferrari or a sleek black Lamborghini. Leo's parents didn't have much money, so buying his own car wasn't an option. Instead, he spent every extra dollar on tickets to car shows and magazines. Sometimes, he had to work long hours after school to afford it, but he didn't mind. During his college years, Leo studied hard, always thinking about his future. He was good at math and engineering, so he decided to study mechanical engineering, hoping one day he would be working with the cars he loved. He had to make a lot of sacrifices, spending more time working and less time on fun things. But Leo was determined. Of course, college was also the time when Leo started dating. One of his girlfriends wasn't very happy with how much he talked about cars. "You should be talking about me," she said. But Leo couldn't help it. Cars were always on his mind. He met someone later, Sarah, who understood his passion and even went with him to car shows. She knew that cars were always going to be part of his life. After college, Leo got his first job, working in a car dealership. The pay wasn't much, but he was happy to be around cars every day. He could finally afford a used sports car, not a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but it was enough for him. The moment he drove it off the lot, he felt like a kid again. Years later, Leo and Sarah got married, and soon after, they had a son, Max. From the start, there was something familiar about Max. As he grew, Leo noticed how much Max loved playing with his toy cars, just like Leo had as a child. Leo wasn't surprised. After all, passion runs deep. Leo would take Max to car shows, and together, they would look at the latest models, dream about the speed, and imagine driving together one day. Leo knew he had to pass on his love for cars, and he was happy to see Max following in his footsteps. He was going to teach Max everything he knew. Now, Leo had to work hard to keep up with life's responsibilities, but he always made time for cars. He hadn't forgotten his dreams. They had simply evolved. With Max by his side, Leo was more than just a car lover. He was a teacher, a father, and a friend. As Leo stood in the garage with Max, looking at their favorite car, he couldn't help but smile. Leo was happy because he knew that even if he didn't have the fastest car in the world, he had everything he could ever want.